Hello the internet, my name is Jay the Star. In this video we are going to do a ranking who is the strongest straw hat in between the 10 of them and how this is going to work. I'm not going to do number 1 is Luffy, number 2 is Sanji, number 3 is Zoro. No. I'm going to make FIFA cards and I'm going to rate my players, rate those straw hats between 1 to 10 to see who is the strongest straw hat and who is the strongest character between them. For example, Jinbe for strength 8, 5, 6, 7, for Haki 7, for durability 4. So there is different categories and I have to rate them between the numbers between 1 to 10 and if they are very good in this category, they could go up to a 11, which that's the most highest you can go up to. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see who is the strongest straw hat. And I'm going to start from Luffy all the way to Jinbe, and the reason is because Luffy was the first straw hat, Zoro was the second straw hat, Nami was the third straw hat. So that's how I'm going to go from the oldest to the newest straw hat member. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see who is the strongest. Like this video and subscribe. Hello the internet, my name is Jay the Star. In this video we are going to do a ranking who is the strongest straw hat in between the 10 of them and how this is going to work. I'm not going to do number 1 is Luffy, number 2 is Sanji, number 3 is Zoro. No. I'm going to make FIFA cards and I'm going to rate my players, rate those straw hats between 1 to 10 to see who is the strongest straw hat and who is the strongest character between them. For example, Jinbe for strength 8, 5, 6, 7, for Haki 7, for durability 4. So there is different categories and I have to rate them between the numbers between 1 to 10 and if they are very good in this category, they could go up to a 11, which that's the most highest you can go up to. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see who is the strongest straw hat. And I'm going to start from Luffy all the way to Jinbe, and the reason is because Luffy was the first straw hat, Zoro was the second straw hat, Nami was the third straw hat. So that's how I'm going to go from the oldest to the newest straw hat member. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see who is the strongest. Like this video and subscribe. Let me start with our captain of the Straw Hat Pirate. Let me start with Monkey D. Luffy, and let's talk about his devil fruit. And I gave him an 11 for his devil fruit, place. Because the reason why I gave Luffy an 11 for the devil fruit is because Luffy, he is awakened. And to be awakened, you need to be extremely good with your devil fruit, and you must be able to just be extremely powerful with the devil fruit to awaken, and you need to have the devil fruit for many years to master it, to awaken it. And with Luffy is awakened, so that gave him extra points. And not only that, gave him extra points is the fact that he's very creative with the fruit. He turned himself, like he was able to make gear 2, gear 3, gear 4 with only his rubber style, being very creative to make Bounce Man, Tank Man, Snake Man and gear 2. And that's very creative. And Luffy you could say Luffy is the most creative, you know, devil fruit user in the universe of One Piece, because Luffy he's so smart with his devil fruit that he decorates so many different gear 4, gear 3, gear 2, Snake Man, Bounce Man. So they give him the extra points. But let's talk about how broken his devil fruit is. Like the Nika, the Joy Boy fruit, is giving Luffy the ability to do whatever you want. And the fact that he can do whatever you want, and he's the most creative person in One Piece, make it 10 times much more OP than you realize. Luffy could make baseball out of trees. Luffy can sense his body to be a giant. Luffy can he can turn his attack on fire. He can turn lightning into something that you can toss and hold. And Luffy was, could turn the lightning into rubber to throw it at Kaido. And Luffy, he can turn the landscape around him into rubber and using that for himself to attack people. So that's why I give Luffy a 11, because without this Death Fruit he would not be able to defeat Kaido. And this Death Fruit is really OP, being one of the most creative mind in this universe. Combine his creative mind with an OP fruit that allow him to create anything or imagine anything with his mind. Speak volume to how broken I'm trying to tell you guys his fruit is. So that's why I give him an 11 for being awakened their fruit user. And for his Haki, I gave Luffy a 10, because Luffy has all 3 types of Haki: Almond Haki, Conquer's Haki, and Obligation Haki. And then you have the sub Haki, like he has the advanced version of his Haki. So for Almond Haki, you have Rio. For Obligation Haki, he has Future Sight. And for Conquer's Haki, he has advanced Conquer's Haki. With Almond Haki, just make his body hard, pause. Obligation Haki just give him like legit Spider-Man sensors and just give him like a UI thing where Luffy can predict like anybody's movement. And Conquer's Haki, he can like force his will onto you, knocking you out. Then with his advanced like version of Rio Almond Haki, Rio Almond Haki allow the user to attack the inner side of another person. So you could attack your inner side. And in Obligation Haki, Future Sight just allow Luffy to see 2 or 3 seconds in the future, which is quite OP. And then Advanced Conquer's Haki says, I can't explain Advanced Conquer's Haki because it's quite tricky to describe Conquer's Haki, but it just, to me, it looked like you can put your will into your attack to be able to hurt other people's will. I don't know, but just advanced Conquer's Haki kind of just boost your attack. To me it looked like it, but it's quite hard to explain. And the reason why I didn't give Luffy a 11 for his Haki, even though the fact that he could face Kaido one-on-one with his Haki and was strong enough to split the sky with Kaido, which that is the biggest Haki feat you can do in One Piece, to split the sky with another Haki user. That's the best feat to do in One Piece. Even though Luffy done that, the reason why I gave him a 10 and not a 11 is because we've seen what Shanks and Rayleigh can do from long distance. Shanks with his Conquer's Haki could scale the living crap into Green Ball, and Shanks was on Usopp on the coastline while Green Ball was in the island, probably near the murder, and Shanks was strong enough to risk Green Ball with his Conquer's Haki, putting his emotion, Shanks' emotion, into Green Ball to tell Green Ball, hey, get off this island. Which that is the best Conquer's Haki feat that we have seen. The fact that Shanks can put his emotion and his will, and also Shanks only aim this to one person, and he aimed it to one person far away and could be able to do that. Even though he knocked some people out nearby in his crew. The fact that he can single out one person is a big feat, and really he's so like good with Conqueror's Haki. You could tell like his Conqueror's Haki. You can pick who you want to use his Conqueror's Haki on in a small area, like in Sabodi, where really to scale all the Salacer that use his Conqueror's Haki onto a Salacer and onto nearby Marines and other pirates, and really that on purposely left the Strads, Key and Law crews alone. And then later in, when really to stop Blackbeard from hurting Boa Hancock, my beautiful Boa Hancock, really did pick some of Blackbeard's crew and some of the Marines to use his Conqueror's Haki on, and he did not choose Boa and Blackbeard and other like Kobe and them that his Conqueror's Haki. So that's what I'm thinking, like Shanks and Rayleigh has the best Conqueror's Haki feat, and Luffy has not done anything like that yet. For his strength, I just gave Luffy a 10 because I do believe Luffy is one of the strongest One Piece skater. And how I done this strength, I done what punts strength. Like can Luffy hurt you? Yes, Luffy can hurt you. He can knock people out with one shot. He did knock out Loki with one shot, even though Loki was like near death. He still knocked out Loki with one shot. He did beat Kaido. He was so strong. He like punched Kaido through, like a small island right into a volcano. So that's why I gave Luffy a 10 for his strength. For his speed, I gave Luffy a 10, and I split the speed into two different subgroups to make up speed. So for example, you have reaction speed, then you got run speed. So for reaction and for normal speed, I gave Luffy a 10, and the reason is that Luffy, to react to a lightning, you grab the lightning and throw it. So that's why I gave Luffy 10, and plus Luffy does have FIFA-style Haki, which that can help your reaction speed. And Luffy, his normal speed, he was fast enough to speed blitz Kaido multiple times in Kaido's hybrid form, and Kaido had FIFA-style Haki, and I would give Kaido 5 in his reaction speed. And the fact that Luffy could speed blitz Kaido sometimes, it shows something. And Luffy did fight against Kizaru, which I believe Kizaru is light speed, and Luffy could react to Kizaru in speed. So that's why I gave Luffy a 10 for speed. For durability, I gave Luffy a 10 because god damn, Luffy have went through hell and back. He was like that posing guy from Impa down that legit make Luffy into the sickest human being on the planet Earth, making him like legit near death with the poison. Then Ivankov have to take all the pain away, not pain away, but Ivankov have to like put in something for Luffy to stay up. I forgot the word, but comments you can tell me what is the word, or what's the thing that they can't put in Luffy to be able to be fine. But there was a time limit, and with that time limit happened at Marineford, where Luffy was fighting against strong Marines and pirates, and Luffy, they almost died. And Luffy almost died multiple times. Kaido that smack Luffy with all his strength, and Luffy still get up multiple times. And Luffy almost died against Crocodile, he still keeps standing up. He almost died against Rob Lucy, he's still standing up. Against Enel, he still stood up. Against Kaido, he still stood up. You can throw the whole kitchen at Luffy and he was still stand up. So that's why I gave Luffy a 10 for durability. For endurance, I gave Luffy a 8. And the reason why I gave Luffy a 8 for endurance is because after Luffy's done using Gear 5, what happens to Luffy? He cannot use any of his Haki, and he turned into an old razor up nut. So that's why I gave Luffy a 8 for his durability. Not durability, but for his endurance. How long can Luffy last? Suppose Luffy can last for a long time in a fight, but when he go into Gear 5, he got a time limit, and after that time limit, Luffy is done for. So for Luffy's Devil Fruit 11, Haki 10, Strength 10, Speed 10, Durability 10, and Endurance 8. Now let's talk about Luffy's right hand man, Zoro. Roa Noah Zoro. So now for Zoro, since Zoro does not have a devil fruit, I'll be comparing Zoro's sword skills to replace the devil fruit part of the FIFA card thing. So for Zoro pure sword skills, Zoro is up there as one of the greatest swordmen in One Piece currently. He isn't the GOAT, he isn't number one, because Mihawk is the GOAT and he's number one at the moment. But Zoro, I can't lie, I think Zoro is top 5, he's top 3. He is definitely top 5. You can make an argument for being top 3. And yeah, so Zoro is the guy when it comes to pure sword skills, because he has trained his whole life to become the greatest swordman. So that's why I'll give Zoro a 11 for his sword skills. For his Haki, I'm gonna give Zoro a 9. And the reason why I'm giving Zoro a 9 is because Zoro has not mastered his Haki, I feel like. And not master, but Zoro has not mastered Conquer's Haki. The only way he can use Conquer's Haki is through Emma. And I feel like for Zoro to get Emma, to learn Emma, so that's fine, that's good, that's well, but having Emma using Conquer's Haki and you using Conquer's Haki is two different things. And that's why I'm giving Zoro a 9 for his Haki, because I feel like Zoro is not on that level where he is a master of Haki use. And even though he is a Conquer's Haki user, it's only through Emma. Zoro cannot use Conquer's Haki by himself. He's using Conquer's Haki through Emma. And Zoro, he is good with Almond Haki. He does have good always Haki, and he does have Conquer's Haki. Sometimes he can use it, but he's not that well trained with Conquer's Haki. But Zoro does have Ryu, and I feel like Zoro is a better Ryu user than Luffy at the moment, because it seems like Zoro, he doesn't have to do the whole thing with Ryu to take your inner body. And Zoro, being a swordman, I feel like he's more better at Ryu than Luffy. But Luffy, he still have Future Sight. Zoro does not have Future Sight, so that's why I'm giving Zoro a 9 for his Haki. And it's because Zoro he can't use Conquer's Haki willingly. He can only use Conquer's Haki through Emma. If he can use Conquer's Haki without Emma, and he can use it by himself, combine that with Emma, I will give Zoro a 10. And for Zoro to get an 11, Zoro have to be awakened Conquer's Haki user and have to be awakened Obezen Haki user to awaken his Obezen to use Future Sight. But Zoro is awakened Almond Haki, so that would give him an extremely good point for Haki points. So that's why I give him 9 for Haki. For Zoro's strength, I give Zoro a 10. Zoro and Luffy, to me, they feel on par to each other when it comes to physical strength. And Zoro, he can cut mountain, he cut Pika in half, which he was a living, walking, the biggest mountain I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And Zoro could cut that. He scarred Kaido, he made Kaido bleed, he hurt Kin, whose Kin is a very strong race with a very durability race, something like that. So that's why I give Zoro a 10 for his strength. For Zoro's speed, I feel like Zoro is very underrated when it comes to speed, because even though Zoro does not look fast, and it's not because he's fat, it's because he's very muscly bird. So I thought, in my honest opinion, I you know I thought Zoro would get low marks by speed, but thinking of all his speed stuff, I feel like Zoro is underrated when it comes to speed, and I also underrate Zoro when it comes to his speed stuff, because Zoro, he has speed Blitzskin and he has speed Blitz Kaido once or twice during the rooftop thing, and Zoro could keep up with Sanji when him and Sanji was fighting against King and Queen at the same time. So I feel like Zoro is very underrated when it comes to his speed. So that's why I give Zoro 9. Just go rewatch every Zoro speed feats, and I honestly can say Zoro is really underrated when it comes to speed. For Zoro's durability, I give Zoro 10. Zoro is the only One Piece character that we have seen, just underline that sentence, that we have seen that have taken a combined attack from two Yonkos using their Haki and their devil fruit abilities into one attack, and Zoro the tank that, he ate that. He didn't eat that, because right after that he did pass out, but Zoro, he didn't die, and that's the most important thing. Some people would just die just from the aura from this attack, but Zoro, he did not die from the aura. He took it, he smelled it, he ate the aura, and even though he got knocked down straight away, he's still a big feat. And Zoro did took all the pain from Luffy, and Zoro did took that pain for Luffy, so that's another big feat. And I'm telling you, every arc Zoro has a massive durability feat, because ever since that Mihawk fight against Zoro, when Mihawk did destroy Zoro and they gave Zoro that nasty scar, ever since that happened, Zoro have been fighting every person with not fully at 100%. He always fought people at 80%, at 60%, at 50%. Like every fight he isn't 100%. I think the only fight that Zoro was full prepared and 100% was against number 1, and that was when Zoro was at his fullest. But everything else, Zoro was like weakened already. He was weakened when he to face against the Fistman at Allen Park and at the Fistman Tiger, not Fistman Tiger, but the Fistman Iron Arc. He was injured when he fought against Usopp 2. When he fought against not Usopp 2, sorry, that was a bad joke. When Zoro the fought against the Zorov guy, he was like injured just a little bit. So when Zoro the fought King, Zoro was also injured. So every fight Zoro is wounded or not at his fullest. And for his endurance, I gave Zoro a 9, because Zoro did fight at Wano from the rooftop, find Big Mom and Kaido, then later find King in the same night, which that's a very big feat for Zoro. And just like Zoro is just very endurant. Like his fight goes on for quite a long time, and he does keep find multiple people in the same days. So that's why I gave Zoro a 9 for his endurance. And Zoro does not have like a massive thing for his endurance like Luffy, where Luffy must take 5 minutes to recover his like Haki stuff. Zoro does not have that. So that's why I give Zoro a 9 for his endurance. Now it's time for Nami Swan, but don't expect big points here, because Nami is part of the weak trio, so don't expect anything big. Pause. So for Nami, for her devil fruit, even though Nami don't have a devil fruit, she has a devil fruit object, Zeus. With Zeus is Big Mom's is like a former Big Mom object. We see to put her devil fruit, the soul fruit, where she can take people's soul and put it in object, and she done that to a cloud named Zeus, which Nami has Zeus at the moment. And for a devil fruit, I gave her 7, and the reason why I gave Nami 7 for a devil fruit is because Zeus does hit like a tank. Zeus is extremely powerful, but I feel like Nami have not found the perfect way to use Zeus yet, because I feel like Big Mom put Haki into Zeus to hit even more harder, and since Nami don't have Haki, I feel like her Zeus could be more stronger in the future, but at the moment it can one-shot people but not everybody, because it took Nami a lot of times to use Zeus onto OT, which OT keeps staying up when Nami use Zeus, even though OT is like she's a zone type fruit user, so they are more like durable and more stronger, and this is have just better physical stats. So I feel like even though Nami could did put her down, it did took Nami a lot of tries to do it, which I feel like Zeus can get stronger if Nami can just learn how to put Haki into Zeus, but I feel like that won't happen. But for their fruit for Zeus is a 7, because Nami do not have Haki. I will replace it with IQ just to give Nami some better marks here. So for her IQ I gave her a 9. And you might be saying I'm very harsh, but when I give people IQ, I split up into different categories. So you have IQ, how smart you are, and the other side you have fighting IQ. Which Nami, she is smart, and I can see her using her IQ for fighting IQ, because Nami does come up with strategy to defeat people, like in the Alabos when the Sora's was facing Crocodile's crew. When Nami was facing Miss Double Finger whatever, Nami did come up with a strategy to beat her, and against OT Nami did come up with a strategy to defeat OT. So she does have good fight IQ, but her real points come from how smart she is. She's very smart, one of the smartest people in this crew. And if you guys feel like I did low ball Nami when it comes to her IQ and to her dev fruit, I agree. I might have low blow her here, like she might have gotten a 10 year or could honestly be like a 11 year. But if you guys want to put Nami to be a better of IQ and just her dev fruit with Zeus, so I don't care, it's my list anyways. For strength, I gave Nami an 8, and that's basically because of Zeus, how powerful Zeus is, and how strong you could say Nami is, because Nami does have like decent strength. Then top that with Zeus being hit, he can hit like a train, so I just plus them together to get to 8 strength here. For speed, I gave her 5 because Nami does not run often, and when she does, it's for a gag, scene moment, so I don't count that. So I just gave Nami a 5. I gave Nami a 5 for her durability, because her base durability feat was when she fought against Miss Double Finger and against Otin. That is her base, durability feat. But if you really was to fight, Nami did not get a lot of big blows onto her, so that's why I gave her 5. And for her endurance, I gave Nami a 6 because he did fought in the Wano War arc for quite a long time and things of those nature, and after fighting Miss Double Finger, Nami could not stand up. And just keep in mind, Nami is not a fighter. She is the crew, navigator. She's not the main fighter, and she's not a fighter in general. So that's why I gave Nami this points here, even though it looked bad on paper. For a non-fighter, I think it's as good. I think it's good. So you guys might think at a low blow Nami here, given her less points than she should have. So you might be right, but I don't see Nami as a fighter, so that's why I gave her this number here. But now let's talk about God Usopp. Now it's time for our favorite sniper king, Usopp. And for Haki, I gave Usopp a 4. And other than the monster trio and Jinbe, Usopp is the only crew to have Haki. And honestly, for Usopp to be the one of the weakest member in the crew and still having Haki is quite a shame. And I really do hope that in Elbaf, we are still in Elbaf, but I really hope in this arc Oda really go and show off Usopp's skills as a fighter and just everything about Usopp King and Sugar King just in general. I hope Oda do more stuff about Usopp, and I really want to see Usopp having future side Haki. But let's continue with the video. So Usopp get a 4 in Haki just because he's a normal always in Haki user and only guy to have Haki other than the Monster Trio and Jinbe, so that gave him an extra point. But let's go to his skills. So I replaced I think Devil Fruit with his sniping skills. And for sniping skills I gave Usopp a 10. And I do believe Usopp is the top 5 base sniper in One Piece, because I see his father's 1, Van August 2, and Sugar King is number 3. So Usopp has to be number 4. So Usopp been in the top 5 greatest sniper of all time, and just has been a very good sniper. I feel like his sniping skills is very underrated, and people don't talk about this a lot, even me. And the reason is because guns and sniping is not a big thing in One Piece, and sword skills, their fruit Haki is more bigger than shooting a gun for some reason. Even though this is a pirate show, I feel like Oda should start focusing on sniping and guns more often now, because we are in late game and people is hyping Ben Beckman and everybody who is having a gun. So I think Usopp really needs to get a big step up with the sniper thing. And even though, what am I saying? Usopp should get a big step up. He should get like a boost, but even though he does not get a big boost after 1-0 or he don't get an upgrade, he's still a very good sniper. So I give him 10 for sniping skills. For strength, I gave Usopp a 3. Even though Usopp is more muscular than me, I feel like Usopp is a very physically he's a weak character. Very physically he's a weak character. For Usopp's speed, I gave him a 7 because if you remember in Island Park, Usopp did run away from a fishman and he did outrun a fishman. So that should be a big feat for Usopp, even though Usopp, the other, outruns as a random fishman from Island Park. I feel like that's still a very big thing, because Usopp, remember, this was at the beginning of the story, and you know how every arc you just get faster. Every single arc happen, you will get faster. And Usopp did outrun a fishman who is physically, a fishman is 10 to 5 times stronger, faster, physically better than a human being. So that's why I gave Usopp a 7 for his speed. For his durability, I gave Usopp an 8. And Usopp is very underrated when it comes to his durability, because when he faced against Mr. 4 at Albos, Mr. 4 did break. I think he completely destroyed Usopp's nose, and he broke his skull, I remember, in Albos. And Usopp continued to fight Mr. 4 and beating Mr. 4. And years later in Wano, Usopp got a headbutt from Oti. He's still okay. And remember, Oti, her head was hard enough to, be on the same level and to block one of Luffy's attack. Even though Luffy, this was before, Joe awakening, this was before all of those stuff from the rooftop. And even though Luffy did not go into Snake Man, Bounce Man, and Luffy was base Luffy, but the fact that Oti could block and got no damage from a base Luffy attack from Wano says a lot. And if Usopp can take that straight to the dome, says a lot. And remember, Usopp did get a lot of damage doing Wano. I'm pretty sure the guy got a concussion at Wano, and he still keep on fighting. Let's look at his endurance. I gave Usopp a 4 because I feel like Usopp does not have a lot of fights to show all of his good feats, and Usopp will be very low on the list of how strong he is. And I feel like Oda does need to focus on Usopp, because Usopp can be a very, not powerful, but he can be a strong character if Oda just focus on his sniping ability and just give him future sight. If Usopp get future sight before Zoro and Sanji, I can't lie, I feel like other than Sanji, if Usopp get like future sight before Zoro, I'll be happy. Like, I need Sanji and Usopp to get future sight before Zoro. That need to be a thing. But that's everything about Usopp. Now let's get right into Wind Smoke Sanji. For Sanji, he is the monster trio. He is part of the monster trio, and Jinbe has not kicked Sanji out of the monster trio. And I've seen memes of Jinbe kicking out, Sanji out of the monster trio, but I do not see that because I still see Jinbe beneath Sanji, and that might be racist because he's a fishman. But who cares? Like I'm not biased. Like, really, I'm taking all bias out of the way. I don't see Jinbe beating Sanji. But hey, let's go straight into the video. Let's talk about his FIFA card for skills, because we take away, what did we take away? Oh, we took away Devil Fruit away from Sanji because Sanji does not have Devil Fruit, so we replaced it with skills, fighting skills. By that, for his fighting skills, I give Sanji a 10. Sanji has gone head to head, feet to hands against a lot of top tier characters, and in Enies lobby, Sanji was half dead and he could defeat a CP9 member. Who is the CP9 member was at full health, and Sanji blitzed this boy, and Sanji has just gotten stronger from there on. He have went against multiple fishmen at all on one, 5 against 1, 1 against 1, and Sanji always came out as the victor. And Sanji have went feet against Kizaru in Egged Island, proving that he could possibly be around a admiral level. Not a admiral. Sanji is not an admiral level, but he is close. He's like a second to a first commander level. Let's be honest. And Sanji did went feet against Kizaru. Don't forget that. So for fighting skills, I give Sanji a 10 out of 10. And for his Haki, now let's talk about his Haki. Let's talk about his Haki. Sanji get an 8, and the reason why I give Sanji an 8 is because I feel like Sanji has not shown me his true potential as a fighter. Sanji, he does have good Obezan Haki. He could be, other than Luffy, he is the best at Obezan Haki. He is better than Zoro, and he does have good Almond Haki. But the problem is that he does not has Real Haki, and he does not have advanced Obezan Haki, and he does not have Conqueror's Haki at all, which that does bring some points down. But his Almond Haki and his Obezan Haki is good enough to defeat the second commander of Kaido's crew, and it's just generally getting this far into the game. Like, even though Sanji does not have Conqueror's Haki or any advanced version of the Hakis, his Haki is still good enough to allow him to survive in the state. So that's why I give Sanji an 8. And when it comes to Sanji's strength, I give Sanji a 9 in strength. And the reason is because Sanji has kicked a dinosaur through many walls. Sanji has broke bones, and Sanji that even kick somebody so hard they turn beautiful. That's how hard Sanji kicks. So that says something about how powerful his leg is. And bro, Sanji does not miss leg day. He is the definition of bro don't skip leg day, because god damn, those legs have power, man. Sanji have kicking people through walls. He sent Queen flying up with one kick. And when he got awakened, when his skeleton got awakened, it even made him more stronger. He's even more stronger. He's more durable. He's more faster. And this is a nice way to get into how far Sanji is, because Sanji is the second fastest crewmate, the second fastest skater in the threats, and I say that with confidence, so with confidence. The reason why I say Sanji has the base speed is that Sanji, the speed blitz Queen, and Queen have our isn't Haki, man. Queen has our B.D.A and Haki, and Queen is a second commander, and Queen could not see Sanji's movement. Queen did turn around and he was looking where is Sanji, and Sanji the speed blitzed him. And keep in mind, Sanji was fast enough to keep up with Queen and King at the same time, and physically to keep up with Zoro while they were running together. And in the anime, they did make Sanji catch up to Zoro so quick. So that says something about how fast Sanji is truly is. And for his durability, I give Sanji a 10 because when he awakened his skeleton, Queen that took a direct hit on Sanji. The sword broke. Sanji did not get cut. He got no bruises. Nothing happened to Sanji. He ate that. Then he ate a sock punching him. And I know you Toa animators want to forget about that. No. Sanji did eat that sword from a sock and he spit it out. He ate it. So that's why I'm giving Sanji like a 10 for his durability, because gosh damn, recently Sanji Sanji was decent when it comes to his durability, but after that whole awaken his skeleton, he just keep improving. Like he can take a lot of swords, buddy. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention in the speed thing, like another reason I gave Sanji 10 for speed is because Sanji the block one of Kizaru's attack, and Kizaru is light speed, and Sanji did also react to Kizaru's attack and he did dodge it. So that's why I gave Sanji 10 for speed, and for his durability he could eat a lot of swords for the morning. And endurance I gave Sanji a 9 because I feel like Sanji have been in long tough fights, and at Wano he was fighting the whole time, then he fought Queen and King at the same time, then he switched over to only find Queen and he won, and then he passed out. So like even though Sanji does not get a lot of fights, like the fights he get, he does deliver sometimes, he does do good, and his endurance is never in the warning, like it's never a threat for Sanji, his endurance, or can he take that shots. And especially now when Sanji that awaken his bones, man, it says a lot about Sanji. But that's Sanji. Let's get to Tony Shopper. Now it's time for our favorite animal in One Piece, Shopper, the Shopper. So for his devil fruit, I give Shopper an 8, and that's because of his different rumble balls and his different points that he can turn into. So he got Kung Fu point, he got Monster point, and by the way, Monster point is Shopper's powerful point that he can go to, and Monster point is really like a deer on steroids and crashing out. So that's Shopper. Really, if you've seen what like a steroids deer crashing out can do, that's a Shopper when he goes into Monster point. And Monster point is extremely powerful physically, not mentally, but just all around physically. Monster point is a beast to face against. So that's why for their fruit I gave Shopper 8, and it's only because it's a very simple fruit. It's the human fruit. So for a human it will be useless, but for an animal it could have to be very good. So just because it's very simple, it does lose points, and Shopper is creative with the fruit, so it gives him extra point because we have the whole rumble balls situation going on. For his IQ, and the reason why I gave Shopper an IQ thing is because I gave some threats IQ when they don't have Haki or their fruit, just to just to make them get more points really. But Shopper have IQ here, and for IQ I gave Shopper 10. So I split IQ into five different parts. So you have IQ, you could get 5 marks for IQ, how smart, how book smart are you. Then other 5 is how street smart are you, so how like fighting IQ. So +5 plus the other 5 equal you 10. So that's how the math works here. So anyway, sorry. Sopper get 10 for IQ because Sopper is a very smart man, so he got full marks on book smart because the man could create medicine to go against poison. He could cure a lot of poison and stuff in one note. Sopper have to think on the spot to create a medicine to go against Queen's poison, and he actually done it. He actually found a way to cure the people. So that's why he get 5. Now for better IQ, you guys might think Sopper cannot fight. He can fight. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you remember at the arc at Great Moria where Luffy the first Great Moria, that arc, I forgot the name, Philip Bark, something like that. But in that arc, you know, the Stoics was facing against Oars, that giant. And Sopper was the one to come up with a plan to defeat Oars. And the plan was, if a human look up, and if a very powerful, or not powerful, but if a very heavy object fall on your face when you are looking up, you could break your, I don't know, is it jaw, or you can break your throat pores. Very easy like that. So that why the Sopper take up of that. And now I gave Sopper a lot of points here, because if Sopper can think of that, what do you think can Sopper do against you? And Sopper, like, he knows your body. He's a doctor, and as a doctor should know how to hurt you and way to hurt you. So that I give Sopper the extra 5 because he's smart enough and he's a doctor, man. So he knows the human body more than you. So that's why I gave him 10 for IQ. For strength, I gave him 7 because you could give Sopper more points here because Sopper did wrestle against Queen, and Sopper did throw Queen down, and he did wrestle Queen. So Sopper could get more marks here. But for me, I gave him a 7 for strength. Speed 6 because he is an animal, but we don't see Sopper run a lot. We don't see Sopper really run like that. For his durability, I gave Sopper 5. He's not a fighter, and to me, I remember no big feat when it comes to Sopper's durability. Maybe his biggest feat was against a CP9 memo in his lobby, but other than that, Sopper don't have a lot of feats here. In endurance, again the same situation going on here. Sopper, there's not a lot of good feats about Sopper, you know, in like endurance or like any at all. So that's why I gave Sopper 4 for his endurance. So overall, 8 in Endeavor Fruit, 10 in IQ, 7 for strength, 6 for speed, 5 for durability, and 4 in endurance. Now it's time for my favorite wife. Now it's time for my favorite waifu. Now is about time for Nico Robin. And let's talk about Nico Robin. Let's first talk about Nico Robin. She is the base One Piece waifu. I can easily, like, but I can't lie, Boy Clocks is up there, but Robin is all the way. Not me, can't lie, is a little overhyped, but who? Hey, Robin. She's my wife, man. Honestly, like, respect to Robin. But let's continue with the video. With a Devil Fruit, I give like Robin a 10 for a Devil Fruit, and it's because Robin, she is good with a Devil Fruit, and she have long distance to short distance. She really knows how to use it, and she can legit clone herself. She has cloned herself with a Devil Fruit. She can make giant hands, giant feet paws, giant everything, and she can squeeze the living crap out of your balls and smack you until you next week Monday. But anyways, so that why I give Robin a 10 for their fruit, because he's very creative. Even though this fruit is not creative and it's quite boring, Robin turned this fruit into a creative fruit. And Robin, she can clone herself. That's enough talking right there. She can clone herself, buddy. So that's why I give Robin a 10 for their food, and she can legit make a giant version of herself, which is a demon, and she could destroy you. And she can literally have a stand with their fruit. With that form way, that demon child form that Robin make with her hands with their fruit. She can that is like a stand. She can use that and she can control that version of herself, and she can break your back the same. And the only reason why she's not 11 is because she's not an awakened Deathwood user. That's the only problem I have with Robin, and that's why she cannot get the 11 that she could have, because she's not awakened. But for IQ, I gave Robin a 11 because she is the smartest character on Earth. In One Piece, she can book smart. She is 10 out of 10. Not even 10 out of 10. She's 6 out of 10. For her better IQ. She is smart, and she can fight. That's the thing. She isn't like her Chopper way he can use his smartness, or like Nami way they are very smart. Both of them, Chopper and Nami, they're very smart, but they're not fighters, and they have not been in a lot of fights. Even though Chopper got that one good feat, who cares, man, really? But Robin, on the other hand, she is a fighter. She can fight. She has fight multiple times, and she is a fighter. Think about that with how smart she is mentally. So that's why I'm saying she is an 11 for IQ. Strength, I give her 8. I feel like she's a solid at strength. She's above average when it comes to strength, and she can hold people up with her foot. She has held Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji up with her foot with her hands before. And for speed, I think Robin is not the fastest skater. I think she's just above average. And remember, I split speed into two different categories: reaction speed and how fast you are. And Robin is not physically, she's not that fast, but she does have a good reaction speed, and we have seen that she can dodge bullets and stuff like that. And for durability, I give don't say that name. I gave Robin an 8 for durability because she has been through a lot of stuff. She have taken a lot of big balls. She has taken a lot of big damage throughout her years, and she even took quite a beating from a crocodile, from a nail. She took a lightning from a nail, close blank, a nail lighting pre-time skip. That's a good feel, I can't lie. Then for endurance, I gave Robin a 7. I think she can fight for a small period of time, so that's why I gave Robin a 7 for endurance. Stop saying that name. That name is useless. Robin is the only person I know. Yes, Robin is the best. She is the best. So for the last thing is her death is 10, her IQ is 11, her strength is 8, her speed is 6, her durability is 8, and her endurance is 7. Now let's talk about Franky. Super! It's time for Super Franky to be rated. So, because Franky don't have a Haki or a Death Fruit, I'm going by IQ and Tech. Let's start with IQ. I might have low blow, and I think I had to give Franky too low here, and I had to look down on Franky here with his IQ because I gave him a 9. I should have gave him a 10, but it's too late. It's too late. For IQ, I gave Franky a 9 because Franky, he does not fight. And every time Franky is in a fight, it's just a massive brawl, and it's not even a fight against Mr. Pink. They just suplex each other without moving. And in the fight, Franky say, I won't move because I want to show you how manly I am. Wow, Super Franky. That's Franky, man. If you are street smart, you would never stand still in a fight, and you would never tell your opponent, I will not move when you punch me. That's just dumb. For IQ, I can't lie, that's dumb. And maybe that's why I had to give Franky a 9 there. But when it comes to book smart and all of those nonsense, Franky is there. Franky is up there. Franky is smart, but I don't think he's smarter than Sop and Robin. But he is a smart man because he can could use technology, and he could make Sunny, and he can legit turn himself into a cyborg. And now for tech. And what do I mean by tech? I mean his technology things. His things that he takes you better with. For example, he's super he's like make. So Franky fight against, I think against that Kaido crewmate, and Franky to use like a giant robot to fight him. So that's what I mean by that. So Franky can bring, his technology to fight against people like his make. And I give Franky a 9 for his make, because he can take down people, but the problem is Franky, when that made the thing get destroyed, when his tech get destroyed, Franky is basically useless. And we just see that at one, after defeating him, his tech was gone, his tech was damaged, and he had to get out of the make and start fighting with his hands. But his tech is very good. He did run over Big Mom over a motorcycle. He did took down one of Kaido's crewmate with the make. So Franky, he is strong with his tech. But the problem is his tech is not as strong as a Yonko or as a Warlord or of those nature. Let's move to his strength. Physically, Franky is a very strong man. Just look at the size of him. And I think I read an SBS where Franky's up there when it comes to racing arms, and even like in that movie where Luffy and Franky's having like a sumo match, and Franky and Luffy only pure strength. Franky was on a tier, was as they having a fair fight against Luffy strength to strength. But I promise Luffy have gear 5, Franky does not have gear 5. So I gave Franky an 8 for his strength. He is very strong, as also plus he is a cyborg, by the way, guys, so he should get extra point for being a cyborg and being as strong. For Franky's speed, I gave him as a 6. Franky does not run. We all know that Franky does not run. He ran away from nobody with the weirdest sun on earth. But Franky is a strong man. He can hold himself against top tier characters. In the verse, for his durability, I gave Franky a 7. He's a cyborg and he can take a lot of damage and still get up. For his endurance, I gave him a 7, because I do feel the only problem with Franky, he can fight for a long period, but his tech cannot fight for a long period. So his tech can't fight for a long period, but Franky can. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So you got decent in endurance. So for the thing is, so Franky got 9 IQ, what am I talking about? 9 IQ, 9 for his tech, 8 for his strength, 6 for his speed, 7 for his durability, and 7 for his endurance. It's time for Mr. Soul King himself, Brook. For his effort, I give Brook a 9. Because Brook, he is good with his effort, he is creative with his effort, but he is not awakened, which that is the one big problem. Is Brook is not, awakened. And I don't know why every story I'm like low blowing them, and I'm giving them less points than they should get. Because Brook should get a 10, honestly. Like if Robin got a 10 for her day food, Brook should also get a 10 for her day food. But you guys can, I don't know. I'm not gonna change it. I can't be bothered because I was 8 of them and I can't be bothered. So for his day fruit, I gave him a 9. It should be a 10, but let's continue. For Brook's skills and his sword skills, because bro do not have Haki. For sword skills, I gave Brook a 7. And the reason is, and I stand on this, Brook, he is above average and he is a good, swordman. But the problem is, he is not a Law. He's not a Zoro. He's not a Fustora. He's not a Rayleigh, Shanks, Rosa, Mihawk, Goat. He's none of them. He's just a good sword fighter. And combined that with his therefore he is a big threat, because he can turn you into ice. And bro can leave you on the ice skating. So that I gave Brook a 7 for his sword skills, because I do think Brook is a good swordman, but he is not amazing or great. He's just good. For strength, I give Brook a 5 because he is bones, and I believe Brook is physically the one of the weakest threat next to Nami, and maybe Usopp is more stronger, or is it a little bit less stronger? But remember what I said earlier. You can get physically strength, or you can get how hard to hit, and I do think Brook does hit harder than Usopp. But let's continue with Brook's speed. Brook get a 9 for speed. Other than the monster trio, Brook is the fourth fastest threat. Brook can run on the sea. Who can do that? Who can run on the sea like Brook? No one. And I can't lie, I miss that gag. Remember that gag where Brook can like run on the sea, on water? I miss that gag, and I need that gag to come back. Order, please, I need it. Brook can run on sea, on water. I like that. Me like it. Also, plus Brook is like made of nothing. He's just bones. He's very light, so he is extremely fast, and he could outspeed Big Mom. And he did got some few attacks on Big Mom, but it done 0 damage to Big Mom anyway. So yeah, for his durability, I give Brook an 8 because I think other than the monster trio, Usopp and them and Jinbe, Brook does have the base example of biggest feats of the durability, because Brook to face against Big Mom by himself, even though Big Mom was not trying to kill Brook, because Big Mom was trying to do something else to Brook. So when those two fought, Big Mom and Brook, Big Mom could not catch Brook sometimes with his speed, but when Big Mom does catch him, and when Big Mom does land an attack on Brook did kind of eat it. Brook kind of took the attack, even though Big Mom was not going all out. I'm saying that, please, full word, captured me, my quote. Big Mom was not going all out, and Big Mom was just going easy on Brook, because Big Mom want Brook to be in a book, okay? And Big Mom does not want to kill Brook, but when Big Mom does attack Brook they ate the attack, and he still stand up and keep fighting against Big Mom, which I think we do have to respect that. And Brook did face against a Yonko. He's the only other character to face a Yonko. And how did Brook face a Yonko before Sanji? That's my question. How did Brook face a Yonko one-on-one before Sanji or Zoro? So Zoro did face Big Mom and Kaido, but Zoro had 6 or 5 other people on him. He had Luffy, Killer, Law, Kid, and himself. He didn't fought Big Mom by himself. He didn't fought King, or what am I talking about? He didn't fought Kaido by himself, but Brook did. So hey, for his endurance, I gave Brook a 6. I don't know why. I just think he's bad in endurance, and we don't see him a lot fighting, and he's above average because he is a Yonko crewmate, so that way. So first, for Brook's Death Fruit 9, Sword Skill 7, Strength 5, Speed 9, 8 for durability, and 6 for endurance. Now let's talk about the Son of the Sea, Jinbe. Now it's time for Jinbe and for his fistman skills, because he doesn't have a Death Fruit. Jinbe will, be ranking by his fistman karate skills. So I gave Jinbe a 10. It could be an 11, but I don't feel like fistman karate is that strong where it can allow you to get an 11. Even though Jinbe, I believe, for it, Jinbe is the best fistman karate master out there, and he has the best fistman karate skills. By far, he's number 1. He is number 1. But I don't feel like fistman karate is that strong to get you a 11. Me personally, you could give Jinbe that 1 point, but it would not matter. The same. For Haki, I give Jinbe a 9 for Haki, and it's the same reason why I gave Sanji a 9 for his Haki, is because Jinbe, he does not have advanced armor Haki, obligation Haki, or he does not have Conquest Haki at all. He does not have, Rio, Future Sight, and Conquest Haki, and he only have armor Haki and obligation Haki. And even though Jinbe, he has good armor Haki, he has one of the best armor Haki, one of the best pure almond hockey user, but I just put him by 9, the same ranking, the same point I gave to Sanji. Both of them get a 9 because I feel like both of them is not on that level as a Yonko, as a Zoro, as a Luffy, as anybody that's good with hockey. I don't feel like they're on that level. For strength, I give Jinbe an 8. He could punch people through walls, he could face a giant cat, and he could hold him off for quite a long time. And plus, Jinbe is quite a very sturdy man, if you ask me, quite a big man, so I feel like big men should be very muscular and could be quite strong in my opinion. So that's why I gave Jinbe an 8 for his strength. For speed, I gave Jinbe a 7 because that boy does not run. Him and Franky is not runners. They are punchers, they are fighters. But look here, I do feel like since Jinbe is a warlord, he has been around for quite a long time, he should be able to get good speed, to raise good speed. I mean, in the water he can raise amazing speed, but on ground, I don't feel like Jinbe can, mass people in speed. For durability, I give Jinbe a 9 because Jinbe, he can turn his whole body into almond hockey, and it will be more trickly and be more harder for you to do damage on Jinbe because he will turn his body into almond hockey. And plus, Jinbe defeated against Ace for 4 days straight, and Ace is a fireman, and fire beat fish because fish are scared and they get cooked by fire. So if Ace could not, destroy Jinbe, it says a lot about Jinbe's durability. But I do feel like Kaido, Big Mom, Luffy, Zoro could do a lot of damage to Jinbe, and he maybe could not handle that damage. Just saying. And here come to his endurance. For Jinbe's endurance, his base feat is fine Ace for those days, but he did lose to Ace. And by the way, this Ace was a weaker Ace from the main story, and he, was quite a good boy because this was pre-time skip. This was not even War Arc Ace, was just a random Ace, 17-year-old Ace. And if Ace could take Jinbe to his level, fighting Jinbe for multiple days, I mean, it says a lot. But I mean, Jinbe did fight for multiple days, so he does have good endurance to fight for multiple days. So that's why I gave Jinbe an 8. He could get a better mark here if you fought somebody that was way stronger than a 17-year-old Ace. Just saying. So Jinbe get a 10 for his fishman skills. Jinbe get a 9 for their food, 8 for strength, 7 for speed, 9 for durability, and 8 for his endurance. We are all here, and all of you guys are here to hear who is the strongest Straw Hat in between the 10 of them. Who is the strongest? So I will start off by weakest to strongest, and the weakest one got the least amount of points, while the strongest got the most amount of points. So ladies and gentlemen, before I say who is the strongest, guys, please like the video and please subscribe, because this video that took me a lot of time, and it's just editing, it just took me a long time, man. So please like the video and please subscribe. So to start off, as the weakest Straw Hat is Usopp, and Usopp got quite a bad mark, and the reason why Usopp is here is because Usopp did not, Usopp does not get a lot of sign in the anime, in the manga. We don't see a lot of Usopp fighting. We don't see Usopp using his Haki. He don't use his always and Haki. And if Oda can just make him use his always and Haki more, get him better, make him be able to use future sight and just be a more better sniper, Usopp will be near the murder of this list. But Usopp, his final points is a 35. Yeah, that's horrible. That's just bad. So I hope they can do better of Usopp, Oda can. And in second last place is Nami with a point of 39. And honestly, if Nami did not have her juice, if Nami never get juice the cloud, I feel like Usopp will be in front of Nami and they would swap. So if Nami never got that cloud juice from Big Mom, Usopp will be in front of Nami. But Nami got a point of 39. And just remember, Nami is not the fighter of the crew. And to continue with the monster trio, Usopp is in the third last place with a point of 40 points. And by the way, those three, they are not the main fighters, so I didn't expect them to get good points here, but Usopp getting 35, Nami 39, and Usopp 40 points. And Usopp, he, just because he has a Death Fruit and he has the Rama Balls, that make him be ahead of Nami and Usopp. That's the main reason, because of the Rumble Balls. And that's why Usopp is here. But even though Usopp, he's just a doctor and he don't fight, so that's why he's like not high. And now we are coming to the murder part of the section, and Brook is leading the source, coming fourth last with a point of 44. And Brook, he is a fighter. He is a swordman and he can fight. But I mean, other than that, Usopp is not Usopp. Sorry, Brook is not into fighting. He don't like fighting. He is just a cell guy that's just trying to make music. And even though he's a cell guy, just trying to make music, Brook is a oddhead. Brook is a unk. Brook is the biggest unk ever, because he been around, bro. He been around. And Usopp, and not Usopp, stop saying Usopp. Brook, he's a good fighter. He is a decent, good swordman. So that's why Brook is actually getting good points here. So Brook get 44 points. And coming in fourth place here is Franky. Franky has come the fourth place here. Franky is number 4th with a point of 46. So it's just 2 points in front of Brook. And the only reason why Franky is in front of Brook, and honestly, Brook and Franky, to me, that's very close. Like, they're very close when it comes to fighting. And because when I was making this video, when I thought, I thought to myself, make me make a simple summarize, make me not think think deep into first, second, third, fourth year. So I just started naming names. But when I come to around this area of the top 5, Brook and Franky, I was thinking who's stronger, and I asked people around me who's more stronger, Franky and Brook, and they all say different people. And I can't give you a straight answer who's more stronger, because Brook and Franky, they're honestly quite very close when it comes to power level. And Franky did win by 2 points, and I think the only reason why Franky won is because just Franky I think it's because of his technology and his robot that I'm saying Franky would win, but it's only because of Franky's super Franky robot thing. But if you don't add that super robot into Franky's moveset, I feel like Brook would win. But when you do add that to Franky, is a 50-50. Like, I really don't know between those two who's stronger. But in this video, Franky is stronger, lad. And coming in number 5. Sorry, the last one was number 6. So Franky is 6, Brook is 7, Usopp is 8, Nami is 9, and Usopp is lost by 10. So now we are in the top 5 of the strongest thread. And my beautiful waifu, Nico Robin, has the point of, drumroll please, 50 points. So Robin got 50 points, and she is in the top 5 strongest one. She is in the top 5 strongest straw hat member with a 50 points, because you must keep in mind she is a fighter, and she was kind of crocodile right hand man doing Baroque walk. She was a right hand man to crocodile, and now she's in the straw hat. She is very close to awaken the Death Fruit. She's very close. She has good Death Fruit, and just everything about Robin. She is a good fighter, and honestly, I can see Robin defeating Usopp, Franky, Nami, Brook, Usopp. I can see Robin taking them down. But now here come to the controversy now. Who's number 4? Who's number 4? Is it Jinbe? Is it Sanji? Jinbe is number 4, and this might be this could be a fight. This could cause a fight in the comments, because a lot of people would say Jinbe is way stronger than Sanji because Jinbe got better feats and he's a former warlord. Nah. Okay, let's just talk about the positive stuff about Jinbe. Jinbe, he is strong. He's a former warlord. He is the second strongest warlord, or third. He's second or third, definitely top 3, second or third, but he's not top 1, because that's me, because that belongs to me goat. but you know, Jinbe top 3, top 2 is fine, man. But Jinbe, he does have good feet. He easily did defeat Who. He easily blocked attack from a Big Mom. But to be fair though, it was a way weaker Big Mom. Keep in mind. But taking in all of that, I don't see Jinbe defeating Sanji, really. If you say I must bet all my money on one of the two, I'm choosing Sanji 99% of the time over Jinbe. And now let's get to Sanji. Sanji, he's number 3. Sanji is the guy. He is the goat. Sanji, he is a good fighter, and Sanji does get sleep on quite a lot. I don't know why people like to sleep on Sanji, but Sanji got a point of 55 and Jinbe got a point of, drumroll please, I think he got a point of 51. So Sanji to beat Jinbe with 4 points. Now here come the top 2, and we all know who's number 1 and who's number 2, and that belongs to Luffy and to Zoro. Luffy and Zoro is the top 2, and Luffy is number 1 with 60 points and Zoro is number 2 with 58 points. And I have made a lot of videos on why Luffy and Zoro is one of the strongest skaters in One Piece, and I still stand on that, comment. And Zoro and Luffy, you can't argue, they are definitely number 1 and 2. Luffy's 1 and Zoro will always be number 2. So that's the video of the day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like the video and please subscribe.